obviously the political, the legal things are happening, right? Specifically in Saskatchewan, our trans youth is hugely at threat, right? Because of the bill that I mentioned, Bill 137, or the pronoun policy, if you want to call it, or the parents' rights bill, whatever nonsense you want to refer to it as, it's a huge threat specifically to our youth.
The Sask Party is really regressive, unnecessary, and just mean-spirited bill that was introduced really for really cynical, naked, political, partisan reasons, but that has real life effect on people and some of society's most vulnerable people. Since the introduction of that bill in Saskatchewan, and I think you've seen an evolution of pride across North America and the world in the past couple of years as you see increasing attacks on the queer community, that there's been a bit of that movement back to the more political, the original purpose of pride.
Well, I thought that bill was just childish because it's basically threatening to tattle. It's saying, we'll force teachers to tell your parents if you want to change your name or your pronouns, and that'll shut you up. Well, no. In the past, queer youth used to leave home at really young ages in some cases. If there was no acceptance at home, they would leave, they would be homeless, they would be vulnerable. In some cases, they committed suicide. I mean, it seems as if the Conservatives who passed that bill want us to go back to that.
I think that's a threat, though, because of what the political scene is in the United States. And it's really close to us. And we've seen a resurgence of people who are not scared of attacking or insulting. Like, we have to be aware.
But the controversy surrounding not only the Pride Center, You Are Pride on campus, and the Women's Center on campus, and their status as organizations on campus being challenged so directly by URSU, which is supposed to be a representation of the student body and a voice for the student body, to have both of those places be, I think it's fair to say, clearly targeted, it's incredibly disappointing to hear students be so, I don't want to say gleeful, but so direct in their challenge of like two very specific places on campus.
I really want to talk about communicating to folks like the specific health needs of those populations, because even when I started working there, I had people in my own family, my own sibling came to me and said, "Why do you need a special health office?" And I was like, okay, we obviously don't talk enough, first of all. And then, second of all, I was like, wow, this is a really important teaching moment for me that people just don't understand even, and this is, I know she's aware of, the HIV/AIDS issues, which you would think would occur to her naturally. But then there's other things like, LGBT folk, 2S LGBT folks, at least in the United States, tend to live in urban areas, and they have in urban higher pollution levels. And so asthma and respiratory conditions occur in at higher rates in those populations, right? I think these things that corporations love and that politicians love that separate us, and that they can use to manipulate our behavior and our understanding of each other and divide us from each other, I think those are threats. So yes, I think corporations and right-wing governments and political parties are a very serious threat, not just to the 2S LGBTQ plus community, but to any number of communities in Saskatchewan, in Canada, around the world, right, that aren't viewed as the dominant group.
My perception is it's all about money. we had, for a long time, we had trouble scrounging up enough money to pay for events. Because I didn't think we would ever get corporate sponsorship. I didn't think any branch of government or any corporation or any large corporation would fund Pride. Like, why would they? So what we did is we would, and in 2010, the advertising committee was me, myself, and I. But before that, there were a few of us that would contact small businesses that were, and find out if they were queer friendly. And some of them were, especially the ones who were run by queer people. They would pay for ads in the Pride Guide, and also donate events to be auctioned off, or it would be part of the silent auction. And that generally raised enough money to pay for the event. And then I started reading things. I started reading, especially in the queer press, about how Pride Week had become commercialized. Like, it hadn't become that way here yet. But I was reading that in bigger cities, lots of money went into it. Like, someone I know in Toronto said that the Pride Parade brought out 1 million people. I was gobsmacked. I was amazed. And they said lots of money goes into it because it's a capitalist festival, basically. We introduced the local court to the Pride Committee, and the current emperor and empress came. They're still in. They're in their second year. They came and talked to the Pride Committee, and we hoped they would be incorporated more. And no, it didn't work well. One member of the Pride Committee kept saying, well, we want this to be professional. They saw the court as amateurs, the volunteer drag performers as amateurs, and they saw RuPaul girls as professionals. So they preferred a professional festival, as they called it. And so I knew this was happening in other places, and I didn't know it would happen here. And I think it did happen here.
I think it's really commercialized, that community is forgotten. And when I brought it up to the Pride Committee, that the Queen City Pride, which I was the co-chair last year, I was told that if I bring more of this community, the other person who was the co-chair with me, she will not do it, because
Yeah.
that's not what she wanted to do. She was there to do the festival. It lost the flavor of community, I think. We lost it. For me, it's been hard to be in the queer community, I will tell you, because there's a lot of racism. So I've been look at what does she know? Why is she? She's the troublemaker. Yeah, I'm bad. If you consider that speaking for your rights, it's troublemaking. Yeah, I am.